Hillary.
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. We are oddly recording on a Tuesday morning.
Is it? It's not Tuesday morning. It's
It's
Tuesday
Tuesday afternoon.
afternoon.
I just haven't done anything yet today. So,
I'm like, I've been up since 5 a.m.
no, I mean, I've been up for a really long time. I just I haven't been productive today. It's Tuesday afternoon, May 13th. If you're listening, it is on or after tomorrow, May 14th, Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. This is season 7, episode 18.
And you're listening to Kissing Lips and Breaking Hearts with the Grind Tarts.
Welcome.
It is almost Bono Book movie release day.
Yes.
I feel like that needs a better name.
We've been waiting for this, though. We've just been waiting for any little sound bite that's new from him, and we got it.
We did. We did.
We
It
got
was
a
great.
lot of,
That's okay.
yeah, we got a lot of new words and
Words, talking
intro.
points.
Yeah, and a lot of, recycled
Yeah,
words.
but the world's different. So there's new stuff. And if we could just dive straight into the superficial,
Yeah,
your man's got a new look.
I know it.
Bold new look.
It does. If he hasn't been doing anything else, clearly he's had time to work on his guns.
Yeah, right? He's like bicep-orama.
Like not making an album, but working on my guns.
Right?
Yeah.
Congrats, Bono.
Yeah.
That doesn't come easy.
No,
Congrats on
no.
your work. That's a lot of protein and a lot of weights.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But I think that's all he's been doing. I'm kidding. But
But you can do that while you do interviews and stuff too.
yeah, you can. So I saw a meme about that really cracked me up. That Harry Styles was at the Vatican when like in the crowd. I don't know if it was a real picture of him. He had a mustache, and it kind of could go either way, I thought. But it said Harry Styles at the Vatican when the new pope was announced, and the meme said Harry Styles will literally do anything to not release another album. And I'm like, is Bono standing next to Harry Styles? Because that wouldn't surprise me in the least bit.
Like Harry Styles has got a mustache and Bono's got some funny beret. Like, I don't know, being like silly disguises.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
calling Harry Styles mustache silly. I'm just, in my mind, it's fake.
It. So I'm not positive it was actually Harry Styles. It maybe, but regardless, the meme was hysterical. Even if it was just some random person that didn't even remotely look like Harry Styles, it was funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
And I seem to remember towards the end of the Sphere shows, Bono wearing a sleeveless vest.
he did.
So, but I'm kind of wondering if this picture was taken with like selfie mode on his phone or something.
I don't know. I tried to.
Shadows were a little funny.
There's a book that's not his, that's sitting on the sofa next to him in that picture, and I tried to zoom in to see what the book was, but I couldn't tell.
And there's I think that's some Tupperware on like a mantle.
Some-
The walls is that a stucco or do they need to be repainted? I don't know. I was really looking through this. I was really having a good time.
Yeah. It doesn't look like a new room.
It looks like a basement with like the pipes and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, I see that.
Yeah. So in every photo we see of something inside his house seems to have an old rug.
Yeah.
So tracks.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is in The Observer and it came out on his birthday. And there was another article that came out on May 10th too. It's an Italian publication in Italian. I'm sure the internet will translate it for you. But the promotion has begun.
It has begun.
Yeah.
Before we get to that part of the article,
Uh-huh.
like in the kind of introduction to the, not to Bono, but to the interview, um, it says that it talks about the Netflix drama series produced by J.J. Abrams, um, which I just kept thinking went away.
Yeah, I don't like this the word drama series
I know. I feel weird about that.
with art band. I don't mind like a documentary.
I don't know, but the guy who wrote the screenplay also wrote Bohemian Rhapsody, which I like that movie, but I don't feel like knowing, nothing about Queen compared to U2, I still knew that wasn't accurate stuff.
Right. So I don't know. Like I said, like I don't mind when it's like what's Bohemian Rhapsody called? What's it's not a documentary, it's
Biopic.
a biopic. There you go. Like a biopic type situation. What was this? A dramatic series?
Drama series.
Drama series. That's just I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'll
Also,
watch it. Don't
oh
worry.
yeah, we'll watch it. Um, I'm also nervous because the biggest disappointment of my whole life was Lost. Damn J.J. Abrams. And I mean, it's not his fault, but
I
I mean,
just got
maybe
a
it is.
text. I just got a promotional text from Gracie Abrams. Literally 2 minutes ago.
Interesting.
Oh, it's about the pressing of a 1 year anniversary vinyl. We joked that I went to see Gracie Abrams in Radio City Music Hall in New York, however long ago. And the next night she was there, or the night I wasn't there, her dad was there, J.C. Abrams. And we joked that I would have been like, I want my life back.
I know.
Yes, but now I'd be like, don't you fucking do them. Don't you fucking
Right.
over
Again.
on a U2 thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I did read this off topic, but we'll get back. I did read a review of somebody. I don't know where you find it. I think it's a torrent or something. And I have to ask my brother about it. But they reordered the episodes of Lost, so it each scene happens in real time instead of the flashbacks. And
okay.
apparently everybody says that's much more watchable, but I don't think I'm gonna invest that time in my life again.
No, and I didn't mind once you kind of figure out the time is kind of aloof, like, what's next week? Like, what's gonna happen? And
Right.
it was just, I'm just mad how it ended.
Yeah, yeah. And there's no way, like, if you reorder the scenes, it's still gonna end the same way.
Change the ending.
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So,
But I heard good things about that. I heard it's good. So
well, I'm glad for them.
yeah.
Look, my heart on my shirt and the heart on my tattoo match.
Oh, nice.
Unintended. I'll take it. That's a win.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, so we're just going to talk about this article a little bit, nice, short, and sweet for y'all today. And because, we haven't heard from your man in a while. So, what's he doing? Obviously, this doesn't talk about anything that he's doing, really.
Well, I mean, the
Well,
end does just a little bit,
a little
but
bit. A little bit.
yeah.
But do you want to start? You said you had some notes.
I just have little notes. Like,
Yeah.
you need to read the whole article. I'm just pointing out things that really kind of struck me. But there's a line, and it says, "From here on, it seems his focus will be making music rather than campaigning," which just feels weird to me. He says, "I will have to stop doing something of what I've been doing elsewhere in order to do this thing I've been given since I was 16 or 17." So, just mentioning he's not doing either of those things.
I mean, he might. They've been working in the studio and stuff.
Yeah.
He's been doing things.
I just need evidence.
I know. Proof of life. Proof of music.
Proof of music.
We have proof
Yeah.
of life.
So another thing he talks about in the Buke movie that it's the world according to him. I say that about us all the time.
Oh,
Like, this is what it looks like. This is what the world looks like from
Our
our
perspective.
heads,
Yeah.
in our imagination. So this is how things look. It's not reality for most people, I think. But anyway,
I mean,
but
that's the
it's
nature of stuff anyway, yeah.
yeah. He says the author says a very little of Bono goes a long way, which
Yeah,
I thought was kind of funny.
that was funny.
So another just highlights that I just thought were interesting is that the author again says I've been intrigued by the disjuncture between his private and his public life, at the latter tending to be less mischievous at times, altogether more earnest sounding. When I mention this, he replies, "Yes, yes, and you were right." I don't know. I just think that's
I mean, we've heard Son Spencer that before, how he's
yeah.
more
Oh
quiet
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and less
yeah,
crazy, and it's which is, I mean, that's part of the mask, I guess.
yeah.
But that was cute how
I
it's
thought it was really cute.
yeah.
Mischievous.
Well, I
Oh,
mean, one of the most interesting things I would say for us is because we know what he thinks of Trump
oh
and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
all of this, but I mean, during Trump's first term, they were very vocal. Like they had that Vegas gig and that Salesforce gig, and like all through McFisto, like all kinds of things. But I mean, it's almost so like he talks about getting back to the music and less of the activism, but
yeah,
it's almost like the world has set it up that that's his only choice.
yeah. Well, he refers to what Trump is doing as vandalism. And I thought that was a really interesting,
He used two great. Another adjective he used was murderous.
yeah. But I mean, that's vandalism. That's just a really, it's actually a really kind word
Yes.
to compare what,
He maybe wanted to be a little more creative in his wording.
but I did think it was really interesting that it was thought invoking.
It's like
He's,
vandalism just usually destroys a good thing, right? Like it's if you think of not necessarily a good thing, but like when he got charges vandalism with rock and roll stops the traffic, right?
yeah,
Like it's destroying something that's not yours.
right. That's exactly right. It's so what's surprising about this article is that he's so downtrodden about the state of the world right now. And it's like usually you go to Bono to like
Your
hear
hope or
hope optimism. I mean he says,
motivation,
I
yeah.
mean it said, it talks about the Trump administration and it says given that where does it leave you? And he says out of a job. And that was kind of alarming to hear. So in this article, and I don't know, I don't know what sense these numbers make, but I'm going to go with this is correct. But his organizations and the funds he has campaigned for from the US has saved estimated 26 million lives.
I'd be surprised, yeah.
No, I wouldn't be surprised with that either. I just thought was interesting. But he says, in our lifetimes, we had the sense the world was evolving in the direction of freedom.
Yeah.
But the thing is that there's no sound historical backing of that belief. So I mean that just also makes me again sad because it's kind of minimizing every he's doing it. It's I mean Trump is doing it, but he's saying what he's done seems to be minimized by the past has been minimized by the present.
Like the classical YouTube and Bono stories and quotes about their fanfare for America, like being such fans of America, and then all of a sudden your idol just
Bales.
fails.
Yeah.
Or
I
you're like
mean, what a
a
how
teacher. Like it's we believed in everything of you and you failed us. It's really, really sad. But I mean, I think we're all there. The interviewer asks, I asked him if that philosophy is still tenable. Wait, what's the oh, the you don't have to agree with people on everything, just one thing. If you'd agree on one thing that's important enough. And the interviewer asked him if that philosophy is still tenable in the face of Donald Trump's brutal American first ideology. And Bono replied, I don't think so. I can't do it. The organizations I helped create and sustain can't carry the anger that I have at the vandalism, not just of USA, but of people's lives, the people who worked on it and the people whose lives depended on it. Like it's how do you how do you keep fighting when there's no one to listen or anything to fight for?
Mm. It's so alarming.
Yeah. Because in my mind, he and like the people at one, they're like scheming. How do we work around? How do we get this here? Like blah, 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 blah. But it sounds like
There's no scheming.
just like dead in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think about Trump, and I mean, I try to see like, well, 4 years from now, or in the midterms when we have the opportunity to turn the Senate and Congress or something.
Right.
I don't think that we can think like that. I don't think it's helpful to even think like that right now.
Right.
Like we just have to deal with what we have. And
Right. Well, and even if we do flip Senate and Congress, that's next year for those that
yeah,
2026, the damage that has been done is going to take,
a
they're
generation.
saying a generation. Yeah. Like, because even though you can get funding back, you can get people back their jobs, but all of the repercussions and the harm that has been done to people's lives,
Right.
you can't take that back.
I mean, he's cutting all this stuff, but he's not like not spending the money. He's still spending the money.
Spending more money.
Yeah, so like to get all this stuff back, it's going to cost more money than it did to have it to begin with. And
Right.
that's more than a generation away. So, ugh, it's just depressing.
Yeah, me in the heart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um
Let's find something better to talk about.
well, I still have a few more.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so the guy asks him, like, challenges him about what he said about Gaza. And one of his responses, I mean, he said,
And about getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
yeah, and that people were like outraged because Biden had just given money to Israel. Bono's just like, I just disagree with that. Plus, he did have an editorial in the Irish Times and the Atlantic that same day about the situation in Gaza. He says, I think it's daft to accept the notion that people's public pronouncements are the sum of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
I'm glad he said it.
he shut that shit down. I
Yeah.
mean, like that was really also like not a I mean, I'm sure Bono shuts shit down all the time, but in interviews, it just seems like he's not generally that harsh, And
First, yeah.
this
To the
was,
point. Yeah.
yeah, this was harsh. So another, okay, just philosophy, YouTube philosophy. I think I have two more things. He says, I would say you have to know where you came from in order to be more effective in the present and the future. So the interview asks about their nostalgia tours.
Right.
And he responds really great. I still am a little iffy about, like, it just seems like they had to do something at Sphere and they didn't have a new album.
Right.
And they had to do a tour, but they didn't have a new album for Joshua Tree. I wonder if it wasn't for those circumstances, if they would have even
Done that.
revisited. Yeah,
I mean, it goes against everything they've ever said before.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They won't do, greatest hits tour or that kind of thing. I mean, obviously they were great. And
Oh my God,
if
yeah.
there's any two albums they're gonna play, those are them.
Those are the two.
Those are them.
Yeah, and
And
I'm not
oh,
I mean, again,
100%. agreeing with you, like, but if
Yeah,
they had new music, they wouldn't have they
yeah.
wouldn't have done those, I presume. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I hope that because I like the fact that they just keep moving forward. And I'm just giving them an out on all that. Like,
Oh, for
I'm
sure.
not, like, that doesn't
And
change
everyone
anything.
loved it. We loved it, they loved it, it turned out a win for everyone.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So great.
Yeah.
Lots of fun. And before you go to a concert, you don't have to like study the lyrics to learn the words for
Right.
a new album because we don't.
No, we don't. Well,
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that was part of the fun too. Even though it was nostalgic, they had to relearn it, yeah, and even modernize a little bit or change things up. Wasn't like it was an easy out.
No, no, no. But usually if when I'm traveling to a
If
concert, like the first show of a tour, I'll listen to the album the whole like for the week before or whatever.
for sure.
I didn't do that with these. I wanted to feel like I felt when I first
Oh, yeah.
heard them. And you only get that chance once, but it still was super
But it have
exciting.
a chance to do it because it's been so many decades to have a chance to
Yeah. Um
do it again.
and that we weren't there for Joshua Tree when I was only there for one show for Zoo TV. Okay, so he says that they're in the studio working with Brian Eno. I told you and Garden Tart Amanda, please, dear Lord, let this not be No Line on the Horizon too, because I will die. I can't.
I just can't imagine. They talk about how generous we were with them with that album, that they went out there and, oh my god, they can't do that us to us again.
No, no.
Uh,
But I kind of had the feeling with that they didn't realize what the album was until they started playing it live.
yeah, maybe.
So like, let's not get there. Let's
Right.
not
That's not
do that again.
but
Um,
also, I try to be like, "Okay, I don't want the Brainino sound, but
he was the
he's the reason we have so many U2 songs that we love.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Okay. What?
just be patient."
Yeah. Okay,
I
two
love
more.
he says, "I still find Brian an extraordinary inspiration, and I'm sure he still finds me quite frustrating."
Stay frustrated, Bono,
Yes.
because don't just let him walk all over you, Svengali Rasputin.
But I know he will keep on defending our right to be ecstatic in our music.
Yeah. Okay, so earlier in the article, he addresses mostly Elijah, but he talks about Elijah and Eve. But it's really interesting because he says, when he started out, he was very much affected by poor reviews and the meanness of the industry. But as he's gotten older, he's gotten a thicker skin. He says, that's what I don't want for my kids. And by the way, they don't suffer from it. Elijah is close to understanding who he is now. But for me, art was always an attempt to identify myself. That's interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I would guess that's for, I mean, any artist of any kind, they're looking to figure out who they are, right?
Right. Right.
But that implies to me that Eli and Eve are well grounded in who they are.
Right. But they've also grown up in that
Oh,
lifestyle.
yeah. They didn't all of a sudden get famous and be like, the world is mean.
Right.
They already knew the world is mean.
Yeah. Like, I'm
That's
pretty.
I feel like high five on that parenting.
Yeah, I know. It's really impressive.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Because those kids could totally be little shits. And it's apparent they are not.
no, it seems like they're not. They seem to be decent people and talented in their own right. Like, I've never heard anybody say anything bad about Inhaler, though. Like, I've never heard a bad review.
No, I also don't read
I don't,
everything or
I don't,
dive in,
I
but
don't either. But like the things I have, you're right. I don't read much of anything, but the things I have read, it's all positive.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so the quote that is the byline to this article, and we'll leave it at that. Bono says, "Let me put it this way. I won't go to my grave thinking I wasted time in terms of my activism. I might, however, go to my grave thinking that there was that one U2 song I let go of when it was close and I went out the back door before it was finished." I'd like to hear that.
Yeah. Get into the music. Get into the music.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
So the moral of the story is if you're not doing your job anymore, just work on your guns.
We're going you made me drop stuff.
If you just aren't going to do it, at
Work
least
on your
look good.
gun.
At least look good.
Okay. Work on your guns.
Okay, so on the next episode of The Garden Tarts, Buster teaches Bono 18th century agrarian economics. And Bono's like, I know.
When you started saying he was teaching us about economics, I'm like, where's this gonna go?
18th century agrarian.
I look forward to Garden Tart and Amanda's interpretation of that one.
Good luck with that one, Amanda.
Well, I have
She'll
full
find.
faith. I have full faith that her creativity will manifest toward the light.
That's a direct line of from I think the pilot of Arrested Development. Buster keeps taking classes and stuff, and they're like, "I want Buster to run the company." And you've taken economics classes, and he's like 18th century agrarian economics.
I love that it's actually from the show.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Oh, get ready. Oh, do you have plans for May 30th for watching
I don't. I need to get.
the movie?
I need to get on that.
Garden Tart, Amanda, and I are going to our friend Mary's.
I want to go.
Come on.
I
Sure, we can get you an invite. It's gonna be barbecue.
can't.
Hi, Mary, for listening.
Hi, Mary. I would love to come. Thank you, but
So it
I
will.
don't know that I can manage that.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be shown at the Cannes Film Festival next week, and will be available globally on May 30th on Apple TV Plus. An abridged and updated paperback edition of Bono's memoir will be published as a companion to the film. If you have not yet pre-ordered that or plan to purchase in person, please try and go to a independent bookstore. If you go to bookshop.org, I mean, you're not going to get Prime shipping.
Right.
Bookshop.org and order from there. All the proceeds from there go to independent bookstores. I don't know how they divvy that up. Or go to a local bookstore. Just like we like record store day. You don't need the abridged version of Bono's book day of.
No, no, no.
If it means shopping from like
I'm gonna do it.
Amazon. And if you've already pre-ordered from Amazon, you can still cancel it.
Yeah.
If you want a day of, just go in person.
Yeah, I need to figure out who I can get to watch it with me that'll be interested. But I also kind of feel like I need to watch it with like my notebook and take notes for our
Right?
project.
Because it'll be interesting how it feels compared to being there in person
Yeah.
and how they filmed it. And we know that there's crowd involvement and uh yeah. It might be fun to talk to some people that were there. I know our friend PJ was there. Is Kelly there too? Both the Octoon babies? I don't know. After it comes out, it might be fun.
Jenny was definitely there.
Jenny was definitely there. But we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Or, something fun is to look forward to.
I know. It's going to be artsy and fun.
Yeah.
Review. The trailer looks amazing.
I wonder what kind of drink would be appropriate for a book movie viewing. I'm gonna come up with something.
It's what's something Manhattan like? Manhattan inspired. You think about it.
Yeah, I mean, a Manhattan goes with everything.
Yeah.
So
Just because it was filmed mostly in Manhattan. Cool.
Yep.
Well,
Okay. Well, we
stay
will
tuned next week.
see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
We'll be back next week with more U2ish content.
In the meantime, keep chatting with us on social media at _Garden Tarts.
Sign up for our newsletter at thegardentarts.com and share with your YouTube friends.
You can support us on Patreon, buy me a coffee, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
Kissing Lips and Breaking Hearts, a U2ish podcast with the Garden Tarts, is created, produced, and edited by us, the Garden Tarts.
Intro and outro music by December.
See you next week.